Okay, I'm gonna put this picture here with the disclaimer that I'm not a producer, unlike the rest of my colleagues here. Although I have worked with a lot of producers. I've been into hundreds of chicken houses like this one you see here. And like someone mentioned, notice I'm wearing coveralls and boots and gloves and masks and hairnets. And so we take biosecurity very serious in the poultry industry, especially after the avian influenza massive outbreak we had in 2015 that has been the costliest outbreak of a disease in U.S. history. But like someone mentioned, I guess it was Karen for the pork side, we're kind of like pork, except we're years ahead of them, I think, as far as the integration part of it. And as you can see, this facility is already considered antiquated, but it's got automated everything: feeders, drinkers. You can program in the computer the temperature you want to hold each week, and the computer will turn on fans and heaters and keep the house conditions pretty much just like you want them throughout the grow-up. That doesn't mean the producers are not dedicated to checking on their chickens. They check them often. I'd say at least 3 times a day. They go in and monitor house conditions and pick up mortality and make sure that the feeders, you know things that happen at the farm. A feeder stops working or one row spills over and things like that. But we would provide a good environment for chickens to grow in. I don't have a picture of my family, but I can tell you all about them. If you want to see a video, we have 5 grandkids, 2 boys, 3 girls, and a great-granddaughter, Kennedy Grace, and a great-grandson, Elijah. So if you want to see pictures of them, see me after you. You probably asked me to stop. I want to talk a little bit about antimicrobial use in poultry. Uses we use antimicrobials, as you know, strictly for disease prevention, treatment, and control. Growth promoting uses, which in my opinion weren't really growth promoting, they were health promoting, but nevertheless they've been banned for whatever. It's not an appealing term. They've been gone since GFI 209-213. The new BFD rules kicked in January 1st of last year. And so what we have is these uses and our definitions. I'm an alternate for AAAP in the Committee on Antimicrobials of the American Veterinary Medical Association that Dr. Costin mentioned before. So we're, like he mentioned, we work on developing, first of all, definitions for all these uses. So we're sticking with AVMA's definitions for all these uses. If you're interested in getting the definitions, you can visit AVMA's webpage and they're over there like he indicated. The lady from Pilgrims yesterday did a great job explaining about how the poultry industry is really vertically integrated. In fact, it's interesting that now Costco, for the first time, we have a company that is going to be even integrated to the point of producing their own chicken and salad. I mean, that's a first. But I thought we were fully integrated, but this is the ultimate integration. But that's happening already in Nebraska. So poultry companies, like she mentioned, they acquire breeders from primary breeders, and they produce their own chickens and turkeys, the meat birds that you purchase at the store. They also supply baby poultry to the contract producers, and they own their own feed mills. They have a full staff of nutritionists, so they formulate the feed and deliver it to the farmers, along with technical and veterinary support. They have field technicians that visit the flocks at least once a week. Veterinarians do the same. And of course, flock gets sick, they get called out, and things like that. The contract producers are basically not allowed to give anything to their flocks unless approved by the poultry company. And this is a very strict rule, subject to termination, immediate termination. So, producers are not using antimicrobials or anything else unless it comes directly from the company. The poultry companies have not only nutritionists, but they also have veterinarians on their staff, and those veterinarians are responsible for designing vaccination and disease prevention and treatment programs, and also visit farms regularly, so they have a strong VCPR. Someone mentioned that you could probably put all the vets from the poultry industry in this room. I think you can put all the vets from the main poultry industry in about a third of this room. The majority of FDA-approved drugs that are used in poultry production are antimicrobials, whether it's antibiotics or sulfonamides. And the oral route is the most frequently used, whether it's via drinking water or in the feed. Rarely we use parenteral administration or other routes like the in ovo. For a long time, companies used administration of antimicrobials in ovo, but that has significantly decreased due to antimicrobial stewardship programs at different companies. Commercial operations have oversight by licensed veterinarians. I was talking to one of them for a big integrator in the U.S. yesterday about these, because I was checking with him, and he says he's licensed in 9 states where he has responsibility for birds. So they're responsible for developing the health and disease prevention programs or plans and oversee drug and antimicrobial use at all levels. And obviously, poultry companies administer antimicrobial feed additives when used as per label instructions, because as you know, we don't have latitude for extra label drug use when it comes to feed. And since 2014, our poultry industry has embarked in a collaborative program with the USDA, NARMS, and University of Minnesota with Dr. Randy Singer to assess antimicrobial use and antimicrobial resistance at the farm level over time. All our medically important antimicrobials are used again only for disease treatment, prevention, or control. They're all under strict veterinary supervision since before January 1st, 2017. Many companies were already prescribing only by order of a veterinarian. But certainly since January 1st of 2017 is all either prescription or veterinary feed directive order. So the industry has been responsive to changing regulations and consumer concerns. We could see that way back in I think it was 96, when the American Association of Avian Pathologists already published with working closely with the AVMA their judicious use of antimicrobials for poultry veterinarians. That has recently been reviewed and is posted at the AAAP website as well as the AVMA's website, as you see here. And of course, we're aware of the different classes of antimicrobials and the relative importance to human medicine. So that's an important factor that is considered when antimicrobials have to be used. There are also documented declines in usage of in-feed antimicrobials, and this goes way back in 2002. Dr. Chapman published this paper where you could already see significant declines comparing just 1995 to 2000. Yeah, the same thing over there. I don't think it reaches over there, but you can see the same thing over there. So this is not a new thing. Here you can see just comparing 2013 through 2015, the green section is the no antibiotics ever category, and you can see that it's increased from 4% to 12%. So basically a 3x increase in just a period of 3 years. And as you heard several speakers mention yesterday, just with one of the biggest integrators going 100% NAE, this is more like in the 45 to 48% range. So nearly half our chickens are produced without antibiotics. Although remember what she said from Pilgrim, she said, but only about 8% are sold as NAE. So you're probably buying NAE chicken at a discounted price. Some of the things that poultry producers have done to reduce antimicrobial use are things like improved sanitation, biosecurity, best management practices at the breeder farms, because in the case of poultry, everything starts with the breeder. We had to start with a clean hatching egg to be able to produce a clean baby chick or baby poult. The breeders are vaccinated fairly intensely or hyperimmunized to transfer passive or protective immunity to the progeny, especially against diseases that are common in the industry and that are immunodepressive or immunosuppressive. If the immune system, we keep it healthy, hopefully the chickens will be given the proper environmental conditions and feed and water, and they won't get sick. We also have improved sanitation at the hatchery. Many companies now have stopped using mass administration of antimicrobials at day of age or in ovo. Some still do, but the trend is clear that there is a lot less usage of antimicrobials at the hatchery, which means they have to really improve the sanitation, cleanliness at all levels so that conditions are as clean as possible, so those baby poultry do not carry a heavy bacterial load when they arrive at the farm. There's also been improved sanitation, biosecurity, and best management practices at the chicken and turkey farms, where you actually grow the meat birds. And like I mentioned, there is a lot of checks that go on at each farm that the field techs take a look at everything: feeds, water, lights, temperature, humidity, a variety of things that they record on every visit and report back to the administration. The vaccinated chickens and turkeys, we vaccinate chickens and turkeys to prevent immunodepressive viral diseases and viral respiratory diseases that usually can trigger a bacterial secondary infection that sometimes require antimicrobial use. So we're trying to do as much to optimize the environment and boost the immunity of these birds and the sanitation status of these birds so that they're not going to require antimicrobials. But we subscribe to AVMA's antimicrobial stewardship definition and core principles as shown here. And I think Dr. Costin already showed you the same definition here and the same core principles which we support in the poultry medicine world as a AAAP. Our AAAP is the American Association of Avian Pathologists, and basically we are in sync with AVMA and work closely with AVMA and support their definitions and stewardship efforts in the area of antimicrobial use in poultry. And the final thing I'll mention is that I've been giving a lot of talks even to some of our own colleagues just about the importance of having what I call, think about that. It's very important to have the right diagnosis, the right selection of an antimicrobial based on pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics of that drug, and the right therapeutic regimen or dosage.